We begin with the latest from Bangladesh. The country has announced its first national election since the ousting of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina last August. The Election Commission says polls will be held on February the 12th, with campaigning set to begin from January 22nd. Voters will elect all 300 parliamentary representatives. A referendum on the July Charter, which refers to a set of reforms agreed upon by most political parties after Hasina's exit, will be held on the same day.
In this election process, we expect cordial participation and active cooperation of all political parties and rival candidates and of the voters. I urge all to play a historical role in our democratic journey by making the upcoming 13th National Parliament election a success.
Well, this will also be the first general election under the interim government led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus. The government took over after violent protests led to Hasina's ousting, forcing her to flee to India. Since then, the political field has shifted sharply. Hasina's Awami League has been disqualified from contesting elections. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or BNP, has emerged as a front-runner. For decades, Bangladesh's politics was shaped by the rivalry between Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia. Both women served multiple terms as Prime Minister. The Awami League was barred from running after the interim government accused the party of abuses of power under Hasina. Well, this leaves the BNP as the main contender, even as its 80-year-old chairperson, Khaleda Zia, remains gravely unwell in Dhaka. Her health has deteriorated sharply, with doctors saying she needs round-the-clock care. Earlier this month, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed concern over Zia's health, saying that India is ready for all possible support in the matter. Meanwhile, in Dhaka, an air ambulance was arranged to fly Zia to London, but her doctors ultimately decided she was not stable enough to travel. The former Bangladeshi Prime Minister's medical team, which includes local and international specialists, say they are providing her the best possible care. Zia's medical board has urged people not to spread rumours and says she remains under intensive care. As Bangladesh heads into a high-stakes election, Zia's condition adds another layer of uncertainty to an already fragile political landscape. Well, for more on this, we have with us now journalist Muqtadir Rashid from Bangla Outlook, joining us live from Dhaka. Welcome to the programme. So with the chairperson of the BNP gravely ill and the Awami League barred from running, where does this leave the election process?
Thank you for having me. And I think the train of the election is already started its journey, as the Election Commission has announced a schedule for the most expected election in the February next year. But we have the big incident in Dhaka right at the moment that one of the populist leader was basically shot at during his campaigning in Dhaka. So that's one of the biggest incident since the election was announced. And the security forces are really struggling to find out who the shooters were and what's going on. As the leader, he's known to be very anti-Indian and like our version of Maldives president. So he was like very popular among the students, and he was shot at. And we don't know who were the attackers and what happened to him. But he is now hospitalized and with a very critical condition, and people are struggling to find out who were behind this. The police said that they will be cracking down on the attackers. This is the one side of the history, and on the other side is the BNP and other political parties. They are continuing their election time campaign, as the protest is launched by some of the student activists by now about to track the attackers.
Yeah, you mentioned the campaign there. There's also set to be a referendum on the July Charter on the same day as a general election aimed at amending the constitution. Why is that so important?
It's very important because the Bangladeshi people who have been dealing with so many, change over the years, but they haven't seen their, um, you know, major change in their livelihood or in their lifestyle or in the political discourse. So they need a kind of balance so that the people, whoever will win the power next time after the election, he can feel the pulse of the people. So this government, which is coming through this mass uprising that thought Sheikh Hasina's 15 years of regime, so they want some changes so that the people uh, can get more power to exercise in future and try to balance the prime minister's power. But I don't think that's gonna really impact our future because there are still a lot of confusion about how things will be amended and what would be the consequences as uh, already this Islamist party, Jamaat Islami, have been campaigning for this, kind of changes. And one of the biggest thing is one of the largest political party, which was like just 2 years ago, which is the largest political party, the Awami League. They are not going to attend this party, this election, as long they are not joining this election. So where their vote will go. So these are the question now is roaming around before the election. But what we see as a whole, one of the largest political party now, the BNP, they want a lot of reforms before the election and even before the fall of Hasina. They have been campaigning for major reform of the constitution and other form of reforms which can empower people to bring some transparency, accountability in the power structure. But the way current government is planning, we are not sure which future we can see um, after the election. So we have to wait and see what's going on once the referendum is, you know, uh, passed by the people's mandate. But we know that what cases happened back in Chile 2013, 2023, in which the referendum after the popular uprising, it was not passed by the people's mandate. So we don't know what changes will come in future if the referendum do not endorse this the yes vote for this.
You mentioned the referendum there. Some had wanted to hold that referendum before the election. What was the thinking there?
So it was only Islamist party Jamaat. They wanted to have this kind of discussion, and we know there is a secret kind of negotiation tool they want to bring into the table, because they have been pushing that the upper house should be proportionate representation, and unless you go for the no the refer peer system in the upper house, they were very reluctant to go for an election. So they were pushing this um, kind of referendum issue before the election, just as a bogey for a bogey diplomacy, you can say. But in the hindsight, we can see this. They were basically preparing for all the grounds to so that they can hold the election, and they have been campaigning for election more than a year, and they are very much confident for their winning in major seats, probably in their history of their foundation, or even the history of the uh, since the birth of Bangladesh as a country.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Muqtada Rashid, we very much appreciate your time. Thank you.
I was born into revolution. I inherited power like a crown. What I delivered was isolation. I built a personality cult that touched every home. Millions suffered hunger under my rule, but no one dared to speak. I ruled from palaces. My people queued for rice. I called myself the dear leader. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?